I'm back again. So this is the other diorama I've been working on bit by bit. So I bought all the molds to cast bricks and tiles and all sorts of things. So all the brickwork on this is individual paving stones, and then I have some these are like a real thin bricky type ones. So I've actually made a step and a bit of a level up here. We've got grills to go on there which have been cast, and also a manhole cover. I've made these little piers along the side of the road, along with this bridge, and between the piers I've bought some really fine chain, and I'll just be hanging those with some rings between each of those to sort of give it like a, put a little ring and put either side and then put the chain between it to give it something, just make it looks a bit, stop you falling off the edge there. So I've got the canal sort of river, whatever you want to call it, stream coming through there, which I've been putting a bit of different colours on. This is a Tamiya product, the grit effect, and it's not light sand but it's a mud type colour, so I've actually put that across there to cover the Das Pronto that I put on there originally, and it's just built onto a foam block. So, and the hole here, which you see there, that'll be so when I put the tank on there, I've got a bolt that actually goes through it to hold the tank onto the system. So, and I've got some Valhalla still water that I'm actually going to use to put in here, and then some Mod Podge to put some ripples and that on top. So I'm just deciding what I should do first, whether to do the water or put some grass or stuff. Got some rocks embedded in here. But it didn't come up too bad, the bridge. I thought that come out quite well. And then the road. And then we have the steps up into the house. So the house I'm building, which is this here. So I've sort of built a section. And I made a mistake when I was building it the way I was thinking about it. But it was only my first attempt at doing one. So these are all cast brick molds. So then I've painted the individual brick colours. So what I need to do is I'm going to put a matte varnish over it and then do some weathering and that to sort of tone it down. Got a line of bricks around there. Got a wooden door frame I've built in there. And then I've got the door which I've sort of painted blue and put in some curtains behind. So I've got to make a door handle and what have you yet, but that'll sit up into there once it's finished. And then I've got windows, which again I've got made out of balsa, and I've got some curtains behind them as well. And then I've just got to finish up the holes when fitting them, but they'll just sort of eventually plug in there like that. This one here I actually used Das Pronto, and I thinned it right out, rolled it, and I thought I'd just put it on there like stucco over the top of the bricks, and just didn't work properly. But it's all cracked and fractured, and I've got to clean this up. But the fractures actually, thought, well, they look more natural a bit now, really. So once I put some covering over this, I'll be putting a bit of dirt and bit in there to sort of accentuate the cracks if the stucco's falling off the place. So I've made like little eaves, and I've made gutters which are out of aluminium tray, and that's Simon Kemp tutorial was showing how to make those. So I've made all those up and little brackets on there. I had them on this side as well, but I knocked them off while I was trying to do some other stuff. Now that'll eventually sort of sit on there, then I'll have some static grass and some flowers and shrubs and bits and pieces. And I have downpipes made well out of the tin foil. So, and I'll be mounting all those up later on to get them all connected. So that's just been a slow process because I've sort of lost interest with it when all this sort of cracked and what have you. And I've got tiles which I've cast, which are these delicate little pieces here, slate tiles, and then I'll be putting them all across the roof for the covering there. And once that house is all finished, then it'll sort of be getting along a bit, and I'll do this water. So this is the tank I'm using for the scene, which is a mid-tiger, and the decals that I used on it were for a training regiment that was in France. So I bought a stack of figures with a driver, and I try to make it look like it's going to be a training type scene. So that tank will go in there, then I'll put some mud on the road and everything else to, because I was going to put this originally in a muddy field, but then I've decided not to. So, and I've had the tiger shown before, but I was quite happy how it all came up with all the details on it. So, and then that'll just get bolted through the bottom of the tank, and that'll get bolted in there so it won't go anywhere once it's all set up. And then I've started painting the crew. So I don't think I'll be doing that P dot camouflage again, because it's just a pain in the backside. So I've covered most of the P dot now on them. I've just got to finish painting the caps, the flesh, the faces, the boots, give them a matte undercoat, and then put a bit of weathering and stuff on them. So, but this guy will go in sort of through here as if he's getting in the lotus hatch. And then I have this little guy which will be climbing up onto the front of the tank somehow. Have this other guy that's already in the radio operator's hatch here. He'll sort of go down once I cut all these wire bits off that I'm using on him. We have the commander firing his gun to get everyone in position. Again, they'll sit in there properly once I get rid of that wire. And then I have this little dude which lost his head in all the excitement, so, and he'll be stuck in here somewhere, running towards the front of a tank just to fill up the front part of a scene. So that one's been sitting around like that now for quite a while. So there's his head that come off in a little accident we had. So I'll get working on this sometime and finish painting up these guys and getting them all ready set in the tank. And then once it's all finished, I'll do a video on that. So, because I'll be interested to see how this water goes and how deep I want to make it, and the Mod Podge with the ripple effects on top and stuff like that, and then some grass and some other bits and pieces around here. And I was thinking maybe leaving some crates over here or something like that just to fill up some extra area. And gonna make door handles and all that type of stuff yet, but that's that one. That's just a slow work in progress, just to see what it was like to build all these bricks separate by separate and get a bit of experience building that before I go on to another one. Okay, but anyway, that's just in the progress. We'll get on to that one day. No worries, thanks very much.